Hey, lay down. Just go lay down. I've got two big dogs in here and they are choosing to be at their busiest while I'm trying to film. So I'm gonna be out of breath and we are probably gonna talk about some things that are a little bit TMI. So if you don't want to hear about pregnancy related symptoms, then this is not the video for you. If you don't want to hear about bodily functions, then this is not the video for you. If you don't want to hear about things coming out of your body, then this is not the video for you. So I'm gonna jump right in. I had a list. I wrote down every symptom for each week, and I don't know where I put it. It disappeared. Where you going, Copper? Where you going? Where you going? Thank you. Just sit where I can see you, buddy. Copper is still a new addition to our family. We've only had him for about 6 months maybe. And so he's still learning a lot of the house rules. So I don't know if you guys want me to read what my OB app says about what's going on with the baby. What's going on with the baby, singular. Let's see. So it says today, I've nicknamed this baby Junior because I don't know if it's a boy or a girl. And a junior just means basically offspring or mini you. So it can be for boy or girl. It says Junior's eyes can sense light even though, and then it says her eyelids will be still closed for a few more months. Now I am 14 weeks and 4 days today. So I'm almost 15 weeks pregnant. Junior can now bend her knees and elbows, giving her a greater range of motion. And Junior is using all of the protein you're getting to help her build strong muscles. I don't know why they keep referring to this baby as a girl, but yeah. All right, that's all I'm gonna read on this because it's like 3 large paragraphs about the baby's development, and let's just be honest, you guys don't want a 40-minute video. All right, so I'm gonna jump right in to the weeks, and I'm going to give you my best recollection of what happened to me my first trimester. I need a sip of coffee for that. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. All right. Now, although pregnancy is a beautiful thing, it is probably one of the most important things that a woman will do in her life. It makes you feel so special that you are doing something that only your sex can do. I just think it's amazing that another human is being developed in a human. Like, what? What they don't tell you about pregnancy is pain, and it starts pretty much right away. Now, every pregnancy is different, but pain seems to be the consistent common denominator in all of the pregnancy symptoms. So, my first week of pregnancy, I didn't know I was pregnant. I had a feeling I could be, but I had not been able to be pregnant for 2 years, and I was told that I couldn't get pregnant, that I was gonna have to go through IVF. And I wasn't having that. In my mind, in my heart, I had already decided, no, I'm not having IVF unless God just says I just need to go that route. But I didn't have a peace about it. So I didn't do any research on it. I just went to church, had my pastor pray for me, Told him I wanted to have a baby and I was told I couldn't. He prayed, and lo and behold, I was pregnant 3 weeks later. So I had a feeling, after he prayed for me, I got this very numbing sensation over me, and I just knew something was happening. I knew God was doing something. My husband and I had just gotten a gym membership, and so we were super active in the gym, and I was gearing up for some personal training videos I was going to do. Not really personal training, but group fitness. My daughter just got home. So we were working out and everything was going really great. And then all of a sudden, I started going to the gym and I could not work out. I had no energy. Everything hurt when I was like lifting weights. Everything hurt. It hurt to do any reps whatsoever. And I know my body. I'm very in tune with my body, and I just knew something was up. And plus, I just kept having this feeling that I was pregnant. But it almost made me paranoid because I'd had that feeling before many times, and then I would get my period. Excuse me. Ooh. So I actually, I started getting very emotional, crying all the time. It was just, I was super bloated. That was one of the first symptoms that I had. My gut, I was doing all this working out. I was eating right. I was doing everything I used to do when I was personal training, and my gut would just it would not adhere to the workouts that I was doing. As much abs as I was doing, as much cardio as I was doing, my gut was just prominent the whole time, just stuck out. And that was a huge red flag to me that something was going on with my body, because my body typically obeys what it's been told to do. If I'm doing a lot of cardio and my goal is to lower my body fat, my body typically does that. If I'm doing a lot of abs and my goal is to tighten up my core and to produce abs, my body usually does that. So it just wasn't getting with the program. And so that was a huge signal to me too. And then, so this is probably like week 1, 2, and 3 of my pregnancy. And then, week 1 and 2. Week 1 and 2. And then my TMI warning, my nipples started doing something weird. Like I've already breastfed, okay? So once you breastfeed, things change. It's blinking. Why are you blinking? Something's blinking. Hold on. Interesting. Why is it blinking? Are you gonna turn off? I don't know. Weird. My nipples started doing this weird thing where they started getting like, I already had pretty big nipples, but this time they were getting like fat, like twice their size. And I was like, something is up. Like they were getting like fat, like if you were gonna breastfeed. So that was another signal for me. So lo and behold, I was craving sugar like nobody's business. I was eating giant bags of lollipops, and I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would eat literally like 15 lollipops before I fell back asleep. Bizarre. So finally, I took the test. I was pregnant. All right, that first, I want to say we'll start from 4 weeks. Biggest cravings, sugar. I had sugar, I had ice cream. I was eating ice cream for breakfast. It was pretty gross. I mean, now you have to also understand I had been working out a lot. I had been doing a lot of weight training, so my body was just craving calories to begin with. And by the time, so week 5, there weren't many symptoms other than the eating of everything. Let's see, that's week 4 and 5. Week 6, I started to worry a little bit because I wasn't really having any symptoms. I mean, other than my sugar craving had slowed down, and then I went on this bean craving. Like I needed refried beans, and I needed it all day long. I was buying cans, like giant cans of beans, and just eating. I'd eat like a can of beans, like a big old can of beans every day. And I would wake up in the middle of the night and I'd eat beans. I mean, I was just eating so many beans, and I think it was just my body needing protein. And I talked to my doctor right as I hit 7 weeks, and I was like, I'm not having any symptoms or anything. I was like, I don't really know. I didn't know if that was a bad thing. I didn't know if that meant I was gonna have a loss, because I had a few losses. So I was just it made me kind of nervous. My doctor said everything looked fine, the baby's growth looked fine, and he actually prescribed some anti-nausea medicine for me, and I was like, I don't need that. I don't need I'm not doing anything. I don't feel anything. What did I say that? Why did I say that? Literally, the day after the doctor's visit, my 7th week. Whew. You guys, my 7th week, almost died. No joke. At this point, by the end of my 6th week, I started to feel a little less motivated to work out. And I also just felt like I needed to take it easy. So I did. 7th week, forget about it. There was no way I was going to the gym because I was too busy vomiting. I had raging headaches. I was walking around the house with sunglasses on, every light in the house off, all day long. Blinds shut, and I couldn't hold anything down, and it sucked because I was hungry. I wanted to eat so bad, and I was craving like sushi. I was craving things I wasn't allowed to eat. And anytime I tried to eat, I would throw it up. It didn't matter what it was. I was throwing up 3-4 times a day. And this happened the entire 7th week and partly into the 8th week. And during that time, I lost so much weight. I was so weak because everything I ate, I would just puke it back up. At one point, I remember I had been throwing up all day, and I was so sick, and I was so desperate to have some type of nutrition. I had just finished throwing up, and I laid on my bathroom floor, and I started to cry, and I just was like, God, you have to help me. You have to help me. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm dying, because that's how you feel when you're subsequently starving. You're starving. By the 8th week, I started being able to hold down more food, but I had to eat very slowly, and I had to watch what I ate. So week 7 and 8 were vomiting, headaches, and I literally pretty much just could only survive on soup. So week 8, like I said, it got a little better. I was still having these random headaches, and I would just have to go and lay down for hours at a time. I was just in the bed from week 7, 8, and week 9. Week 9, I started to get my appetite back a little more. I started to get outside a little more, to get a little more active, but I was still throwing up, and I still do throw up. I threw up last night. I threw up so bad that my throat started bleeding, and I had ripped something in my esophagus because I couldn't swallow. After that, it hurt so bad to swallow. I mean, it was just, my blood pressure would shoot up, my eyes would water. Anyway, that's another story. By the time, so 9th week, things were getting a little better. I'm starting to normalize. I could eat more normally. I still, at times, can have food aversions. My sensitivity to smell is out of this world. I can smell everything. I feel like I'm like a bloodhound. I can smell everything, and I can locate where it's coming from. It's like being able to smell 6 different things in 6 different areas at the same time. It's weird. It's weird. I don't really know how to explain it, but I always had a pretty good sense of smell, and it just kind of like got out of control. So now it's like I smell everything, which makes me kind of like sensitive to everything, and then irritated. Another huge symptom all throughout this first trimester has been irritability. It's a real thing. Look it up. It's the hormones. It's the fact that you feel so sick for such a huge amount of time. By week 10, I stopped being as mean. It's because it started to get a little better. I stopped feeling as sick. But week 7, 8, and 9, watch out. I was mean, and I knew I just had no patience for anything. Things that I would typically be pretty long suffering about, like people dropping their clothes and leaving it on the floor. And I had legit reasons to be upset, but I would typically go about handling it differently, and I was just much quicker with my temper. Week 10, it started to get a little better. Week 11, everything leveled out a little more. I still was getting headaches, still throwing up maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks. Week 11, 12, and 13, I had the worst back pain. I mean, I've gone through so many bottles of Tylenol, you guys. The worst lower back pain, and it's because a combination of things. One, it's not my first pregnancy, so my body's good and broken in. 2, I've had an epidural before. That can also affect lower back pain. 3, my body, my frame, I ended up losing about 20 pounds. No, maybe like 18. So I was about 145, 146. And then I went down to 130. That's 15. So maybe, I think like 15. It may have been 148. I don't remember exactly, because my weight kind of fluctuates anyway. But most of that was muscle that I lost because I had been working out so hard, and then all of a sudden I couldn't work out and I couldn't eat. So don't worry, the baby's fine. The baby gets all of its nutrition from your blood. So even if you're not getting enough food, the baby takes whatever nutrition you have in your blood that you're surviving on, and it gets first dibs, and you get whatever's left over. That's why you can sometimes end up feeling so weak. So week 10, 11, 12, the most horrible back pain, still throwing up. One of the big symptoms I've had during this pregnancy, this first trimester, is just not sleeping at night. Part of it is being uncomfortable. Your body is just, your body releases a chemical called relaxin, and that makes your joints and your muscles really loose, which can make you feel very uncomfortable and cause the back pain and ligament pain. So 10, 11, 12, lots of pain, lots of sleepless nights, still throwing up, but the food aversions had pretty much lifted. I just had to be careful about how quickly I ate. Boobs starting to grow. My boobs actually, they stopped growing like week 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, 12. They just stopped doing things. They were just completely normal. They didn't hurt, they didn't do anything. And I was like, oh man, that's the best part of pregnancy, is the boobs. Like, seriously? No boobs? I want boobs. By week 13, they started to grow a little more. I still deal with some sensitivity to light and kind of random headaches. They're very much like migraines. And then week 14, which is where we are right now, The most constant symptom is it's just the same thing. The lower back pain. Still feel the baby wiggle around. It's actually been much more quiet this week. I check the heartbeat all the time. Heartbeat's just thumping away. But I think maybe the baby's going through a growth spurt. I don't know. I think the baby's sleeping a lot more. Because I used to feel it like flipping around. And I do every once in a while. It's usually after I eat. But also, 14 weeks. Most people don't feel the baby moving around until about 18 weeks. You know, so the fact that I can feel anything is like pretty cool. So when I don't, doesn't mean that anything bad is happening. It just means the baby's little, you know. So we're probably talking about a baby maybe around this much, like this size. And then a uterus that's about maybe this size from front to back. So your uterus expands all the way like towards like your spine, and it also has to share space with intestines, etc., etc. So one of the weirdest things is that your bump size changes due to different things, due to the baby changing position, due to if you've had a poo or not, due to even if you've peed or not. I mean, if you've eaten. So you can wake up and your baby bump's super small, have breakfast, and then you're like out there. You're like way out there. Let's see, what else has been happening? I've not had much of a sex drive. My last pregnancy with Alina, by the time I hit 5 months, I was ready to go. I was randy. I wanted to do it. Not all the time, but when I wanted to do it, I wanted to do it. And that's because there was just so much blood flow in my nether regions. It was making everything all active. It's basically equivalent to a man having a boner all day long. It's like a female boner. It's my husband's most favorite time. Actually, when he found out I was pregnant, one of the first things he said was, "You're gonna get all weird and want to have sex all the time. Yeah, I can't wait." And he's still waiting for that time to kick in, because it's not, it just, you know, okay, if I'm being honest, I just feel tired all the time. And having sex is more energy that has to be exerted. And that's literally the whole thing. That's like the whole reason behind just not being in the mood, just not wanting to exert any extra energy. I did have a couple of like bleed scares. One was at 5 weeks when I was having a poo and I was bearing down and I felt a rip in my uterus, because when you get pregnant, you get constipated because of the prenatal vitamins. And so I was bearing down and I felt a rip and it hurt. I stopped trying to poo. I just got up. And later when I went to the bathroom to pee, there was bright red blood, which sucked, because it just, if you've had a miscarriages, like you see bright red blood, you think it's the end of the world. So, I went to the doctor. They said everything was fine. There was still a baby in there. Fast forward to 11 weeks, and I was just living my life. Nothing exciting had happened. Grayson had jumped up on me. He's about 80 pounds. And his paw kind of hit me in the uterus, but it just kind of tapped me. It wasn't painful at all. I didn't feel any pain. It was almost the equivalent of somebody nudging you, but it was a paw, so it was like in a prominent spot. And later that day, I saw blood. And so I called the doctor again, went in. I bled pretty much the rest of that day, but it was very light. It wasn't heavy. I wasn't feeling a pad or anything. I was having some mild cramping. Went to the doctor. The doctor said everything's fine. Baby's grown quite a bit. And yeah, we don't see any more blood in here, because they can kind of tell from the sonogram. so baby was fine. I have another appointment on the 11th. Today is the 6th. So hopefully I'll get to see Junior again and see what baby Hagen's been up to and see how baby Hagen's grown. But yeah, guys, yeah, we're week 14, almost week 15. And I'm gonna show you the belly shot. I'm sorry if this wasn't a really good first trimester synopsis, but I mean, whoever said I was really good at making videos anyway, right? I mean, like for real. So you guys kind of knew what you were getting when you clicked on this channel. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I know you did. Okay, let me tie my shoe real quick. Hold on. View. Okay, guys, I'm wearing all black, and black makes you look smaller than what you actually are. Probably should be up against a white wall. It's much easier to tell, yeah? Let's do that. Ooh, Junior is kicking Mama in the bladder. Okay, so this is the bump. I'll lift the shirt up, give you guys the real McCoy. This is the bump. Tuck this in like this, because it's kind of loose, so it keeps wanting to fall down. I'll show you guys. Oops, watch my punties. Punties. So this is me from the side. This is actually a pretty accurate belly shot because I've not had much to eat. If I've had a lot to eat, I was full, this all would be very round. The baby is about from down here to about up here. And then this bit's all kind of flat. It's the front. Ooh. I love my little stretch marks. These are my little belly badge. My belly badge. My belly badge. Belly badge. Anyway, I just love staring at this little bump. I'm so grateful for it. Anyway, your body just kind of, as soon as you get pregnant, your body goes into high gear and it just starts changing. So it does it pretty quickly. I have also been experiencing some kind of like Braxton Hicks type contractions down in here. Oops, let me give you a show you guys my pubes. And since I'm in my second trimester, that's pretty normal. I mean, I still look pretty tiny because of all the weight that's been lost, but it's all gravy. Ooh, if I can go to the gym with like just the sports bra and like the workout pants and just be like, I would, just so I could stare at my belly all day, but I can't because my husband would hate that. So these are maternity tights. I kind of tuck them under my sports bra because they get so loose. Like, look at this. It bugs the snot out of me, and they just kind of like end up sliding down, which irritates me. So I tuck them under here, which helps them to stay up. Bring my shirt back down. Bring my shirt down, stop acting mannish. All right, guys, so that is my first trimester update. I hope you liked it. I hope you like my video. And if you guys want to see further updates, I mean, I do plan on letting you guys know what happened in my second trimester. Ooh, I'm out of breath. And why am I so hyper? It's the coffee. It's the coffee. But yeah, and I'm gonna also be putting up a vlog soon on this channel too, so you can kind of see what's been going on with my life. And I love you guys, and thank you for your prayers. Keep praying for baby Hagen, that baby Hagen just continues to grow. Tell me if you think it's a boy or a girl. I feel like it's a boy, but I'm always wrong. I'm always wrong, but I feel like I could bet money it's a boy. But I'm gonna really hate if I look back at this video later and it's a girl and I would have been wrong yet again. And I will be elated if it is a boy or a girl. I love having girls. I've never had a boy. I always wanted to have, not a mama's boy in the sense that your son is afraid to do anything without you, but a mama's boy in the sense that he just really loves his mama. But I love having girls and just having girl time and doing girl stuff and just, I mean, I love having my daughter, Destiny. She's the most amazing freaking thing I've ever done in my life. And I didn't feel that way when I was 16. I knew I loved her, but you just never know how your kids are going to affect your life and your future. Anyway, I'm getting all sentimental because of the hormones and the baby stuff. So, love you guys. And I'll see you guys in the next video. It's probably the longest pregnancy update in the history of YouTube. So I'm sorry. Bye.
He said, let's get out of this town, drive out of the city.